The entertainment world is buzzing with shockwaves after Wendy Williams spoke out, revealing details that fans never expected, and they involve none other than Beyoncé and the controversial Jeffrey Epstein saga. For years, Epstein's name has been tied to the darkest corners of celebrity circles, and the speculation around which stars were involved, directly or indirectly, has kept the world talking. But now, Wendy Williams is breaking her silence, and what she disclosed has left viewers stunned. According to Williams, Beyoncé reportedly played a role in a situation connected to Epstein, a revelation that challenges everything the public thought they knew. The shocking details suggest influence, intervention, and behind-the-scenes actions that could have major implications for how the celebrity world is perceived. Fans who thought they understood the scope of Epstein's connections are now forced to reconsider. What makes this revelation even more compelling is Wendy Williams' credibility and her insider perspective. She isn't just speculating, she's sharing insights that have been circulating within entertainment circles for years, but never publicly confirmed until now. Every word paints a picture of secrecy, strategy, and high-profile involvement that could redefine Beyoncé's narrative in the context of one of the most controversial figures in modern history. The question now is, how does the world respond? What does this mean for Beyoncé's legacy, and how will fans, media, and the industry digest these shocking revelations? The answers are still unfolding, and one thing is certain, Wendy Williams' disclosures are sending shockwaves across the celebrity and music world. As Wendy Williams' revelation continues to make headlines, the world is trying to process the shocking details involving Beyoncé and the notorious Jeffrey Epstein. For years, Epstein's connections with high-profile figures have been the subject of rumors, speculation, and investigative reporting. However, the recent disclosure by Williams adds a new layer of intrigue, one that not only surprises fans, but challenges previously held assumptions about Beyoncé's interactions in those circles. Williams, known for her insider knowledge and years of experience in entertainment, claims that Beyoncé played a role that has remained largely unspoken until now. The specifics are subtle but significant, suggesting that Beyoncé may have used her influence to intervene or affect situations tied to Epstein's network. This revelation comes amid growing scrutiny of how celebrities navigated the complex web of relationships surrounding Epstein, including social, business, and philanthropic connections. Fans immediately began analyzing past events, appearances, and statements for hidden meaning. Certain philanthropic initiatives, private appearances, or interactions with Epstein-adjacent figures now take on new significance in light of Williams' comments. Every detail, no matter how seemingly minor, is being revisited to determine what influence Beyoncé may have exerted and how it shaped outcomes behind the scenes. What makes this revelation particularly striking is the contrast between Beyoncé's public persona and the nature of the claims. Widely celebrated for her artistry, philanthropy, and carefully curated image, Beyoncé is now at the center of a story that juxtaposes public admiration with shadowy, behind-the-scenes connections. Wendy Williams' insight emphasizes the nuance. The situation is not as straightforward as fans might think. The celebrity world often operates in layers, and influence can be exerted in ways that are both subtle and powerful. Industry experts note that this disclosure could have far-reaching implications. Beyond public perception, it could affect how collaborations, partnerships, and future projects are viewed. Beyoncé's decisions, whether related to business, entertainment, or social advocacy, may now be interpreted through the lens of these revelations, whether fairly or not. Fans and analysts alike are trying to piece together the timeline, the context, and the motivations behind the actions described by Williams. Wendy Williams' account also underscores the challenges of separating rumor from fact in high-profile cases. The entertainment industry is notorious for speculation, with social media amplifying every hint or indirect statement. By providing her perspective, Williams adds credibility to claims that previously existed only in whispers, while still leaving room for interpretation. She encourages viewers to consider not just what happened, but why it might have happened, and how the decisions of powerful individuals can ripple through the industry. Moreover, the cultural implications of these revelations are immense. Beyoncé's role, Whether perceived as intervention, influence, or support, intersects with broader conversations about responsibility, ethics, and power within celebrity circles. The discussion goes beyond gossip, entering territory that touches on accountability, public image management, and the pressures faced by influential figures in navigating controversial environments. Fans have also started revisiting past events and public appearances with fresh eyes. Interviews, award shows, and even cryptic social media posts are being analyzed for potential connections to the Epstein network. While it is impossible to confirm every theory, Wendy Williams' insights provide a framework for understanding why certain patterns and interactions may have occurred, highlighting the complexity of influence at this level. In addition, the reactions across social media demonstrate the power of curiosity and speculation. Memes, discussion threads, and reaction videos have proliferated as viewers attempt to contextualize Beyoncé's involvement and interpret Williams' statements. Platforms like Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok are buzzing with commentary, debates, and theories, reflecting the global fascination with high-profile revelations that bridge celebrity culture and real-world controversies. It's important to note that Williams' disclosure doesn't accuse Beyoncé of wrongdoing. Instead, it frames her as a figure who may have had the capacity to intervene or influence outcomes in a situation filled with secrecy and complexity. This subtle distinction matters because it shapes how the narrative unfolds. The story is as much about power, agency, and decision-making as it is about controversy or scandal. As the story unfolds, media outlets have begun reporting on the implications of Williams' revelations. Investigative journalists are analyzing timelines, sourcing corroborative details, and reaching out to industry insiders for clarification. Fans are eagerly following updates, with each new piece of information potentially altering public perception. The dynamic illustrates how a single insider revelation can ignite a cascade of analysis, interpretation, and debate across multiple platforms. Wendy Williams also touches on the broader context of Epstein's network and how it intersected with celebrity culture. While many assumed that interactions with Epstein-adjacent figures were straightforward, Williams reveals that influence, intervention, and discretion were at play. Beyoncé's potential role, whether protective, strategic, or otherwise, adds nuance to the narrative, suggesting that the interplay between high-profile figures and controversial networks is often more complex than it appears on the surface. The story's unfolding impact on Beyoncé's fan base is equally noteworthy. Loyal fans, initially shocked by the revelation, are discussing how to reconcile her celebrated public persona with the behind-the-scenes involvement suggested by Williams. Online communities are analyzing the ethics, intentions, and possible outcomes, generating conversations that extend far beyond traditional celebrity gossip and into discussions about responsibility, influence, and power. Additionally, this disclosure has sparked renewed interest in previously overlooked moments. Past interactions, philanthropic initiatives, and even seemingly trivial connections are being re-examined. Analysts are using Williams' revelations to construct a more comprehensive picture, understanding the subtle strategies, influence, and decision-making processes that may have been at play in a world where public actions often conceal deeper motivations. Ultimately, Wendy Williams' insights provide an unprecedented look into a complex and sensitive story. By highlighting Beyoncé's potential involvement, she offers fans and the public a new lens through which to view one of the most controversial figures in modern history, Jeffrey Epstein, and the intricate web of celebrity interactions surrounding him. The revelations challenge assumptions, provoke discussion, and deepen our understanding of the interplay between power, influence, and ethical decision-making in high-profile circles. As the narrative continues to evolve, one thing is clear: Wendy Williams has opened the door to conversations that were long overdue, shining a light on aspects of celebrity culture and influence that were previously hidden. Fans, analysts, and the media will continue to dissect every detail, and the story is far from reaching its conclusion. With each revelation, the complex portrait of Beyoncé's potential role, influence, and decisions continues to emerge, keeping the world watching and debating. The shockwaves from Wendy Williams' revelation continue to ripple across the entertainment world, leaving fans, analysts, and media outlets scrambling to make sense of the implications. The details surrounding Beyoncé and her reported involvement with the Jeffrey Epstein network are causing intense speculation. It's a story that blends celebrity, influence, secrecy, and ethical complexity, and every new discussion only deepens the intrigue. Industry insiders suggest that the nature of Beyoncé's involvement, whether direct or subtle, demonstrates the high level of influence that celebrities can wield behind the scenes. Williams indicated that Beyoncé may have played a role that affected outcomes in situations linked to Epstein, and while the specifics remain closely held, the notion that one of the world's most powerful artists could intervene in high-stakes circumstances is both fascinating and controversial. Fans quickly began re-examining past interactions and public appearances. Every awards show, interview, or philanthropic initiative connected to Beyoncé is being analyzed for hidden meaning or context. Even her choice of collaborators, events, and endorsements is under scrutiny as observers try to reconstruct a timeline of potential influence. The deeper the analysis goes, the more it becomes clear that high-profile figures operate in a world where every move carries layers of significance beyond what is visible to the public eye. Social media has exploded with reactions, theories, and heated debates. Twitter threads, Instagram stories, and TikTok videos dissect every possible angle, from Beyoncé's reported actions to the motivations behind them. Fans are divided. Some praise her influence as a form of protection or intervention, while others question the ethical boundaries of involvement in such a controversial network. The conversation is global, crossing continents and language barriers, reflecting the universal fascination with celebrity influence intertwined with real-world scandal. The ethical dimension cannot be ignored. Beyoncé's reported involvement raises questions about responsibility, power, and the difficult choices that public figures face. Navigating a network connected to Epstein would require awareness, judgment, and careful strategy, as any misstep could result in severe reputational consequences. Analysts note that this is not merely about celebrity gossip, but about understanding the complex dynamics of influence and accountability in high-stakes situations. Wendy Williams' credibility adds weight to the story. Known for her connections within the entertainment industry and for providing insider insight, her statements are taken seriously by journalists and fans alike. She emphasizes that Beyoncé's actions were deliberate, calculated, and impactful, whether in private interactions, strategic appearances, or philanthropic decisions. The suggestion is that influence in these circles operates in subtle ways, often invisible to the public eye, but with consequences that ripple widely. The public reaction continues to unfold. Discussions on forums, YouTube channels, and fan communities show a mix of shock, admiration, and skepticism. Some fans express amazement at Beyoncé's reported capacity to influence events behind the scenes, viewing it as evidence of her intelligence and strategic thinking. Others are more critical, questioning the implications of being involved, even indirectly, with a network that has been the subject of legal and ethical scrutiny. Analysts and journalists are also reinterpreting historical events in light of these revelations. Certain meetings, collaborations, and endorsements that may have seemed ordinary are now being considered through the lens of strategic influence. The timeline of Beyoncé's professional and philanthropic decisions is under careful review, as observers seek to identify moments where her actions may have intersected with Epstein-adjacent circumstances. The discussion extends beyond just Beyoncé. It highlights a broader pattern of celebrity influence, power dynamics, and decision-making in complex social networks. The story serves as a lens through which to examine how fame, strategic thinking, and ethical considerations intersect, revealing the nuanced realities of operating at the highest levels of entertainment and public visibility. In addition, the story underscores the role of media and public perception. Every statement, post, and interview is interpreted in multiple ways, often amplifying controversy. Wendy Williams' insights have reignited conversations about the responsibilities of influential figures and the ethical lines they must navigate. Public scrutiny is relentless, and the court of opinion is global, reflecting the interconnected nature of modern celebrity culture. The ramifications of these revelations are ongoing. Beyoncé's reported involvement could influence how future collaborations, endorsements, and appearances are perceived. Social media engagement, fan loyalty, and media narratives may all shift in response, demonstrating the long-term impact of a single disclosure by a trusted insider like Wendy Williams. Every action is now subject to reevaluation, and the conversation shows no signs of slowing down. As the discussion deepens, questions continue to emerge. How much influence did Beyoncé actually exert? Was it protective, strategic, or something else entirely? What are the broader consequences for her legacy, and how does this reshape public understanding of celebrity involvement in high-stakes, ethically complex situations? Each question drives further debate, analysis, and speculation, keeping the story alive across multiple platforms. Importantly, this story also illustrates the intersection of power, secrecy, and public perception. Even the most celebrated figures are operating in a world where every move is scrutinized, every connection analyzed, and every action interpreted. Beyoncé's reported involvement demonstrates how influence can be wielded quietly, with far-reaching consequences that extend well beyond the immediate situation. The global fascination with this story is a testament to the cultural significance of both the figures involved and the context of the revelation. Beyoncé, as a global icon, commands attention whenever her actions intersect with controversy. The Epstein network, as a subject of international scrutiny and historical intrigue, magnifies the stakes. Together, they create a narrative that is both compelling and consequential. Journalists and entertainment analysts are using Wendy Williams' statements as a starting point for deeper investigations, piecing together timelines, relationships, and potential motivations. The ongoing discourse reflects a sophisticated public interest in understanding the complexities of influence, ethics, and celebrity in today's interconnected world. Fans, scholars, and commentators alike are drawn into the conversation, exploring every nuance and potential implication. Ultimately, the unfolding story challenges viewers to think critically about the nature of influence, responsibility, and the unseen dynamics that shape high-profile interactions. Beyoncé's reported role is a case study in strategic action within a controversial context, demonstrating that even global icons operate in a world of complexity, subtlety, and consequence. Wendy Williams' revelation has opened a door that allows the public to glimpse the interplay of power, decision-making, and ethical considerations at the highest levels of celebrity culture. The questions remain unanswered, the debates continue, and the fascination is far from fading. Every new analysis, comment, and social media post keeps the story alive, proving that when insider revelations surface, the ripple effects extend far beyond the original disclosure. The world watches closely, aware that even the smallest detail could redefine the narrative, shape perceptions, and influence cultural understanding. As the shockwaves from Wendy Williams' revelations continue, the story surrounding Beyoncé and the Epstein network has reached an entirely new level of intensity. Fans, analysts, and media outlets are dissecting every angle, every interaction, and every statement, trying to piece together the full scope of what may have transpired behind closed doors. The intrigue lies not just in the fact of Beyoncé's involvement, but in the implications of her influence, decision-making, and strategic action within a world fraught with secrecy and high stakes. Wendy Williams described Beyoncé's role as subtle yet significant. Unlike direct confrontations or overt public statements, Beyoncé's influence reportedly operated behind the scenes, navigating a complex web of relationships and decisions connected to Epstein-adjacent individuals. This revelation has fans reconsidering previously overlooked events, from private meetings to philanthropic gestures, all under a lens of speculation that combines curiosity with concern. Social media erupted almost immediately. Twitter threads, Instagram reels, and TikTok analyses dissected every detail, weighing the credibility of Williams' claims and exploring the potential ramifications. Hashtags trended worldwide as fans debated whether Beyoncé's actions reflected moral courage, strategic intervention, or a necessary navigation of a complex, ethically ambiguous environment. Each discussion reflects the broader cultural fascination with celebrity influence intersecting with real-world controversy. Analysts point out that Beyoncé's influence, as described by Williams, exemplifies how high-profile figures can exert power quietly yet effectively. It demonstrates a unique form of agency, one where decisions are made with foresight, awareness of consequence, and an understanding of both immediate and long-term impact. For public figures operating at this level, perception is as critical as action. Every move, even those unseen, can shape narratives, reputations, and historical interpretation. The global audience is captivated not only because of the controversy, but also because this story highlights the complexity of celebrity ethics and decision-making. Wendy Williams' disclosure invites reflection on questions of responsibility. When does influence become intervention? How do high-profile figures navigate moral and strategic considerations in situations with profound implications? The discussion extends far beyond mere gossip, touching on power dynamics, accountability, and cultural perception. Historical patterns in Beyoncé's career are now being revisited. Every strategic collaboration, award show appearance, and philanthropic initiative is under scrutiny for possible connections or hidden meanings. Observers analyze timelines, contextual decisions, and subtle public cues, trying to identify the moments when influence may have been exerted to alter outcomes quietly yet effectively. This re-examination illustrates that influence often operates invisibly, yet its impact is undeniable. Media coverage has intensified. Journalists, investigative reporters, and entertainment analysts are revisiting past reporting, connecting dots, and seeking corroboration for Williams' revelations. The story has become a focal point for broader discussions about how celebrities navigate controversial networks, manage public perception, and use their influence behind the scenes to affect outcomes that few ever witness. Fan communities are actively engaged, with some defending Beyoncé's discretion and strategic involvement, while others question the ethical boundaries of her influence. Discussions range from praise for intelligence and foresight to critical debate over moral responsibility. The discourse is nuanced, reflecting the public's awareness that celebrity actions often exist in a complex space where power, ethics, and perception intersect. The ripple effects extend beyond just Beyoncé. This revelation forces a re-evaluation of the celebrity landscape, highlighting how influence, decision-making, and strategic intervention shape narratives and public perception. High-profile figures, regardless of intent, operate in environments where their choices have consequences that reach far beyond the immediate moment. Wendy Williams' insights underscore the subtle but powerful ways in which agency and influence manifest at the top tiers of celebrity culture. As the story unfolds, more questions arise. Did Beyoncé's reported actions prevent potential harm, or were they purely strategic moves to manage perception? How will history remember these interactions, and how will the public reconcile her celebrated artistry with involvement in such a controversial context? Analysts suggest that the answers are layered, reflecting both the complexity of celebrity decision-making and the intricate web of relationships surrounding Epstein. One striking element is the balance between visibility and discretion. Beyoncé's reported involvement, according to Williams, was deliberate but low-profile, a demonstration of influence that required careful navigation of ethics, optics, and risk. The narrative illustrates that in the world of celebrity, unseen actions can have profound consequences, influencing not only individual outcomes, but also broader cultural perception. Social media and fan reactions continue to fuel discussion. Comment sections, discussion boards, and content creation communities are dissecting every possible implication, debating moral responsibility, influence, and strategic decision-making. This dialogue shows how the story resonates on multiple levels, from personal curiosity to cultural analysis, and why Wendy Williams' disclosure has captivated a global audience. The complexity of the situation cannot be overstated. It's a story about secrecy, influence, and the power dynamics that define celebrity culture. Beyoncé's reported role, subtle yet consequential, illustrates how one individual can shape outcomes in ways that are not immediately visible but carry significant impact. Wendy Williams' revelation shines a light on the hidden mechanisms of influence, offering unprecedented insight into a world that is often carefully shielded from public scrutiny. In conclusion, the story surrounding Beyoncé and Epstein, as detailed by Wendy Williams, is far from simple. It is a layered narrative of strategy, influence, and ethical navigation. It challenges fans and observers to reconsider assumptions, analyze hidden dynamics, and appreciate the nuanced interplay of power and discretion in celebrity culture. As social media, media outlets, and fan communities continue to dissect these revelations, one thing remains clear: the implications of this story will be felt for years, shaping perceptions of influence, responsibility, and the complex realities of operating at the highest levels of fame. The global fascination ensures that every update, statement, or subtle hint will be scrutinized. With each passing day, new insights emerge, deepening the discussion and keeping audiences engaged. Beyoncé's reported involvement is now part of a broader cultural conversation, one that examines power, ethics, and the unseen forces that shape high-profile lives. Wendy Williams' disclosure has opened the door to understanding a complex world, and the story's impact will continue to unfold, ensuring that fans, analysts, and the media remain captivated and engaged. Now it's your turn. We need you to weigh in. What do you think about Beyoncé's reported role in the Epstein network? Was she acting strategically, ethically, or something else entirely? Don't just scroll past. Drop your opinion in the comments right now. The most thoughtful and bold takes could get pinned and featured for the whole community to see. Smash that like button if this revelation shocked you as much as it shocked us. Share this video with your friends so they can join the discussion, because the implications of Wendy Williams' disclosure are too big to ignore. Every view, like, and comment helps keep the conversation alive and ensures you stay on top of the most explosive celebrity insights. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're tracking every new update in this story, and we'll break down every insider detail, fan reaction, and media analysis as it happens. This isn't just another celebrity gossip clip. This is a deep dive into influence, power, and secrecy at the highest levels of the music industry. We want your predictions too. Will Beyoncé speak out? Will there be clarifications or surprises coming next? Your input shapes the discussion and keeps the story moving. Don't miss a single moment. Comment, like, and subscribe to join the conversation, because this saga is far from over, and the next revelation could change everything.